What was your let them think they're winning revenge moment? My sister Jessica had been planning to steal my inheritance for months. Our grandmother left me her vintage jewelry collection worth over $200,000 in her will, but Jessica convinced everyone I was too irresponsible to handle something so valuable. She'd been whispering poison in our parents' ears for weeks, telling them how I'd probably just sell everything for quick cash. Jessica was always the golden child, straight-A student, married to a lawyer with 2 perfect kids, while I was the black sheep who dropped out of college to start my own business. Everyone believed her when she said grandma would have wanted the responsible sister to have the jewelry. What Jessica didn't know was that I'd been secretly recording our family conversations on my phone after I caught her lying about me stealing money from mom's purse last Christmas. I had hours of audio of her trash, talking me and plotting to get the inheritance transferred to her name. The most damning recording came when Jessica called our cousin Sarah, thinking I wasn't home. I was actually in the basement doing laundry when I heard her voice through the vents. She was explaining her entire plan step by step, how she'd been documenting every time I borrowed money from our parents, and how she was going to use all of it to paint me as an unfit heir. She told Sarah she'd already spoken to a lawyer about contesting the will and that she was confident she could get the jewelry transferred to her name within 6 months. Jessica even bragged about how she'd been manipulating our parents' emotions, telling mom that she cried herself to sleep worrying about what I'd do with grandma's precious jewelry. She said she told dad that I'd probably sell it all to fund my failing business and that grandma would be rolling in her grave if she knew what was happening. I recorded everything while pretending to fold laundry, my hands shaking with anger, but I knew I had to stay calm and let her dig her own grave deeper. I was sitting in the lawyer's office last Tuesday when Jessica walked in with our parents and her husband. She'd called this meeting to formally contest the will, claiming I was mentally unstable and financially irresponsible. She even brought fake receipts showing I owed her thousands of dollars. The lawyer, Mr. Peterson, looked uncomfortable as Jessica presented her case with tears in her eyes, talking about how much grandma's jewelry meant to the family and how she'd treasure it forever. She painted me as a selfish drug addict who would destroy our grandmother's legacy. I sat there silently as she dug deeper and deeper into her lies, telling Mr. Peterson how I'd threatened to sell everything to pay off gambling debts that didn't exist. She even claimed I'd stolen jewelry from her house last month and that she was afraid to be alone with me. My parents nodded along, believing every word their perfect daughter said. When Jessica finished her performance, Mr. Peterson turned to me and asked if I had anything to say in my defense. That's when I pulled out my phone and connected it to the conference room speakers. I looked Jessica straight in the eyes and said, "I think you should hear this." Then I played the recording from 3 weeks ago. Jessica's voice filled the room, crystal clear. "I don't care what that stupid will says, Mom. The jewelry should be mine. I've already found a buyer who'll pay $180,000 cash. We just need to prove she's unfit. Then we split the money 3 ways between us." The room went dead silent as the recording continued, with Jessica laughing about how easy it was to manipulate our parents and how she'd been planning this since the funeral. My parents' faces went white as they heard their golden child plotting to steal from her own sister and lie to their faces. I played recording after recording, each one more damning than the last, including the one where she called Dad a gullible old fool and Mom an emotional wreck who'd believe anything. Mr. Peterson stopped the recordings and asked Jessica if she had any explanation. The color drained from her face as she realized I'd been 3 steps ahead the whole time. Not only did I keep my inheritance, but my parents were so disgusted, they removed Jessica from their will entirely, and her husband filed for divorce 2 months later after hearing all the recordings of her calling him a pathetic loser behind his back.